Mansi, please adjust your mic. Sorry, camera.
Okay, now we can start.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone. I am Mansi Chahar on behalf of Team Law Statistics and the organizing committee, namely Ms. Nikita Bansal, founder and CEO, and Ms. Shobna Agrawal, co-founder and managing director. Welcome to all for this webinar and present our heartfelt gratitude towards our honorable speaker, Advocate Kanu Sharma ma'am. The topic for today's webinar is, should prostitution be legalized in India or not? Now I will quote some lines about our honorable speaker. Kanu Sharma ma'am has expertise in service, consumer and matrimonial matters and has experience of 10 years standing at the bar. Also, she is General Secretary at Arjun Foundation. She is the owner at Kanu Sharma Law Classes in Chandigarh. Also, she is appointed as Prabhari for the state of Punjab and Haryana by Lawyers Vision. Ma'am, we are pleased to have you here with us, and without taking much time, I would like to hand over the session to you, ma'am. Ma'am, please continue.
Good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible and clearly visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, congratulations to everyone that we have reached the stage where we can hold a webinar on a whole topic, which is legalization of prostitution. Even after reaching this stage, there are chances that people must be surprised to hear the topic which we are discussing today here at this webinar. But still, through this webinar, I would like to encourage all the girls who have chosen this profession, law as a profession, law as a career, and they have chosen to be a lawyer in near future. They should be bold enough to talk about topics like this. So my first and foremost aim behind this topic was to encourage the girls to talk about it freely and without hesitation. You should be bold enough to talk about this topic called prostitution. See, if we as women do not discuss such topics, who will discuss this? Who will uphold the dignity? Who will uphold the basic human right of a woman who is working as sex worker? Whenever we use the term prostitution, it is generally demeaning for people at large. Calling someone prostitute or talking about this profession, I would clearly say this and repeat it, that prostitution is a profession around the world. So we should not take this as something which is, disrespectful or defaming someone, but this is a full-fledged profession which is going on throughout the world. And this topic is regarding recognizing the fact that world have reached a stage where women are openly indulging into this profession called prostitution. And India is not away from this reality at all. We all must recognize this fact that at metropolitan cities, this profession is flourishing day by day. It is increasing day by day. And the purpose of this topic is to legalize this profession called prostitution. We as females should ponder over the fact that whenever a woman is practicing some profession or indulging into some activity which she is doing as for the purpose of earning her livelihood or feeding her family, that kind of profession should be equated with all other professions in the world. Rather, this is one of the causes of prostitution.
Ma'am, your voice is gone.
Your voice is not audible. Please check your network connection.
So, linking the topic to cause of prostitution. The very first reason that why the number of sex workers are increasing day by day is that poverty is the root cause of this profession called prostitution. Impoverished woman generally indulges into the activities which later leads to full-fledged profession of prostitution. We should think about the stage where these women
Nikita,
are
please mute
working
yourself.
day and night to feed the family members and still not being equated with women who are respectfully performing other activities or they are indulging into other professions. So by legalizing this profession of prostitution, there will be 1% chance that we give some respect to women who are indulged into profession of prostitution. See, every citizen has a right to choose his or her own profession. They have the freedom of choice of choosing their profession. Article 19 gives you that freedom to choose your own profession. If a woman is choosing that profession, maybe out of some obligation or maybe because of some reason like poverty, or not by choice but by chance, then we should at least give her that respect and that dignity as a woman, equating it with other professions. Now the other cause of prostitution is children of such women generally fall into the same profession. Now if we again look at it from another perspective, that son or daughter of an advocate becomes an advocate, son or daughter of a judge becomes a judge, then if daughter of a woman who is practicing this profession called prostitution indulges into it, it is her own choice. We should respect that choice of hers to join the same profession. So this is another cause. Now whenever I say it is cause, that means the reason behind choosing this profession, maybe by choice or by chance, or by they are forced into this profession because they have no option, they do not have that kind of respect in the society as other professions. They are seen with those eyes where they are not treated at par with other children. Because they have grown up in that atmosphere where people are indulged into prostitution, that kind of profession is always seen as immoral, indecent, uncultured, and in my humble submission, I fail to understand how to define immoral, how to define indecent, how to define culture. There are many countries in the world who have already legalized this profession. Be it Germany, Netherlands, Hungary, many other countries who have legalized it. When India is copying other countries for every other thing, then why not legalizing prostitution? Why not giving them a status of a normal employee? who's doing labor in other industries. Then other causes are like forced labor, unemployment. Like women who are searching for employment are forced into this profession. They are coerced into this profession. Undue influence or coercion is exercised on them. Or by force, they are asked to perform such activities. And they become sex workers in a routine manner. Now in situations like this, where you are forced into such profession, and you cannot be taken out of that situation, all we can do as a government, as a civilized society, as a civil society group, we can recognize these groups as one and give them the status of unorganized sector. If you all have studied labor law, there is a difference between organized labor force and unorganized labor force. So we can definitely categorize them, classify them into unorganized labor force. Like all other professions, like all other sectors, if you remember our maids which are working in our houses, they are unorganized labor force. So if such women are working like sex workers or they are doing this profession of prostitution, they must be treated as unorganized labor force. Now these are some of the causes of prostitution throughout the world. Now if this so-called menace has arisen, it has reached a stage where it is increasing day by day. Now what is the remedy left to regulate this profession? I would use the word regulate this profession properly. The regulation of this profession is important. Having policy for regulating this profession is very important. There are countries who have legalized it, but they do not have policies on it. For example, in India, if you see, we have Immoral Trafficking Suppression and Protection Act 1956 and 1986 respectively, which are indirectly talking about how to control prostitution, how to regulate prostitution. These sex workers are allowed to perform their activities, but they are not allowed to publicize it or solicit their customers in public. Rather, the literal meaning of the term prostitute is to publicize it, to show it off in public. So, the legislations made in India itself has regularized the act of prostitution, the indulgence of women into sex, working for sex, selling or buying of sex, selling or buying of flesh, which you can say, human trade. So that kind of voluntarily selling and buying of sex should be regularized. When I'm using these terms, never feel hesitated to hear these terms and talk about these terms, because this is the bitter reality existing in our society. Now, one of the justifications which I would like to give for legalizing prostitution would be, when having sex without taking money is legal, then why not, if somebody is taking money for having sex, should be legalized? That is so true. Somebody has written something. That is so true that people consider sex as a taboo. I myself used to feel hesitated talking about this word. I used to say the S word. I never used to say this term called sex. I was very shy that way. But I have come out of that slumber, I have come out of that shell today to talk about it openly. back in our ancient books, scriptures.
Ma'am, sorry to disturb you. Just a second. Please mute yourself while the session is going on. I repeat, please mute yourself. Sorry, ma'am, you can continue.
So, see, that is how I'm saying that all you need to focus on is how to give them that space. How to give them that space of dignity in your mind. All we need to change is our mindset. Change that mindset. Those women are forced into that profession. Those women might be earning livelihood out of selling their bodies. Then why to look at them with those demeaning eyes? And this gender inequality or gender discrimination which we are doing with females like this is itself a violation of basic human right of a woman like this. Even Amnesty International has recognized this fact that this profession of prostitution has flourished since 2016. And 1% of women throughout the world is indulged into these activities. These activities which we consider as immoral and indecent. And maybe they are feeding their families out of those earnings. So, in my humble submission, it should be legalized. It should be legalized to give them that space. To give them that power to indulge into that profession openly, in public, without hesitation, without being put that taboo on them that they are doing something wrong. If they can dance in the dance bars of Mumbai, right? If they can sell vegetables as vegetable vendors, then why they cannot get money for giving their sexual services? People are buying their services by paying them. So, we have to look at this profession from that angle. Then talking about legalization from an angle of, this was from the angle of human rights. Then the another angle attached to it is health. See, education and health are the most important and basic human rights which we need to talk about these days. Which we need to talk about from a dynamic angle. We need to materialize those rights once again, in a different way. Now, whenever we are talking about legalizing prostitution, we are again pondering over right to health of these people. By legalizing or giving policies regarding regularization of these selling of sexual services by getting money, we will be able to control sexually transmitted diseases at a higher level. We will be able to regularize the exploitation of sex workers. We will be able to eliminate pimps or the middlemen who are taking money and exploiting women who are actually giving their services. We will be able to provide education to children of such women. We will be able to give them that status where they can study along with earning their livelihood. So both education and health are covered if we regularize or legalize this profession of prostitution. Then, by regularizing or giving laws or making legislation, we'll be able to reduce violence. I'm coming on that. We'll be able to reduce violence. We'll be able to reduce rapes. We'll be able to give them that power, teeth, to all those women to talk about their exploitation, to talk about violence which is taking place in those rooms where they are providing sexual services. Whenever rape will be committed on them, whenever sexual violence will take place, they will get that power to talk about it. They'll be able to report the sexual abuse. They'll be able to report the sexual abuse despite the fact that they are prostitutes or they are sex workers. Then all the amendments which are made in the IPC, Indian Evidence Act, through 2013 amendment will be materialized. Their previous sexual experience will not matter if now rape has been committed on them. Their general immoral character, as the taboo says, the stereotypical taboo says immoral, will not be questioned in any court of law. Because that will not be considered as immoral. They will get that happy space. They'll get that respectable place in the society. So talking about their previous sexual experience or giving consent to all other sexual experiences and not this will become immaterial. Again, this will give rise to a better place for women in India. Then, talking about giving rights to such women so that they might come out of it, if they want to come out of it. If they are by force asked to do this, or they have indulged into this profession by force, or forced to do this, they should get a chance to come out of it. Right? If we are talking about reformation of criminals who are committing rapes, or criminals who are killing or murdering each other, who are liable under 302, then why can't we reform these females if they want to, if they themselves consider it immoral?
Ma'am, you're not audible. Please check your network connection.
Then definitely they should be given a chance to come out of it. Right? Then talking about the last aspect of it, that is, it will prevent human trafficking. It will prevent a scenario where people are transported, people are imported and exported just like goods. They are imported, they are exported, there is illicit trafficking of flesh. Humans are trafficked from one place to another. They are forced into prostitution. Even minors. We have provision under IPC where selling and buying of minors for prostitution is illegal. 366A and B. So, scenarios like this, situations like this would be discouraged if we legalize this profession called prostitution. Like, people have made it a profession to earn out of these sex workers. Then why can't we give them a chance to earn themselves without those middlemen, without those pimps, and they can earn their livelihood by selling their sexual services? So that way, rather than promoting human trafficking, rather than giving rise to this organized crime of human flesh trade, we should give them those rights to earn their livelihood, feed their family, give them education, give them good health, give them good life out of those earnings, and should be treated at par with other professions. There are many countries who have basically tried to classify people. Like somebody has asked me, can you tell me types of sex workers? Although I am not aware of types of sexual workers, but after reading this question, I can just answer a point that there are different types of sexual workers working in society. There are people who are earning livelihoods. There are people who are into this organized industry of selling sexual work like pornography. So that is the kind of difference which is existing in society when you are talking about types of sexual workers. how do you term them, or there is any terminology for that or nomenclature for that? Sorry, I am not aware about it. My only focus was to talk about pros and cons of legalization of this profession. Now, whenever you're talking about pros of legalization of this profession, then there must be some negative point also. There must be consequences of legalization of prostitution. Now see, whenever we are legalizing a profession like this, there are chances of misuse of the provisions. There are chances that women are rather suppressed. Women are rather suppressed and not given a chance to raise a voice against sexual abuse if this profession is legalized. For them, hiring sexual services will be legalized. For them, doing anything with that woman will be legalized. So maybe there are chances that women is unable to speak against that sexual abuse, sexual violence, which is existing in this profession. So we can take it from that angle also. Moreover, when we are legalizing this, then we are again creating that social taboo for these women ourselves. We are giving them a different society. We are taking them to a different level. We are saying that these are sexual workers. We are categorizing them into a different category, which again can be tabooed by the society. That these are different people, and we should not indulge ourselves, or we should not send our children to that society because their sexual workers are living. There are a complete industry is going on where women are indulging into this, and we should not send our children to that society. So maybe that kind of scenario is also created where that taboo is created against them. So whenever we are giving this chance of creating legalization of this profession, or creating provisions for making this profession legal, we are again giving a chance to misuse these provisions, to misuse this right of legalization of this profession. So it is both ways.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Depending upon how you are using it. अब misuse तो 498A का भी है, misuse तो dowry death के provision का भी है, right? So there are misuse of many provisions. So just because it will be misused, we cannot say that profession like prostitution cannot be legalized. Now there is another question or some suggestion given from someone that they will be suppressed from their sexual workers will be suppressed from their husbands. See, this you also might be aware that even these husbands are the middlemen or the pigs. So they are themselves indulged into this profession of prostitution. They are encouraging their wives to do it. They are asking them to do it to earn their livelihoods and feed their families because they are unable to do anything else. Right? When this is the situation, definitely female like this will be exploited. तभी तो we are making a law in it. तभी तो we are legalizing it. कोई law होगा जिसमें लिखा होगा that आप middlemen को avoid कर सकते हो. You can directly contact someone, or you can not solicit your customers, but you can directly contact that person. So there must be some provisions. For that we need to read the laws made in different countries. I have not read those laws. So we need to critically analyze those laws, those provisions, those clauses in those acts which are talking about how to legalize it. What kind of remedies can be given to such women? What kind of protection is given to such women? How they can be sexually protected from diseases, how they can be politically protected, legally protected from exploitation, how they can approach the public authorities in case of need, in case of emergency. So all these provisions are to be inculcated in those acts or laws or legislations which we are trying to say that should be there. Those laws should exist. The only topic which we are discussing today is, should there be a law on it? Should it be legalized? Answer is yes. When we are balancing the scales of justice, balance of probability says that there are chances that this kind of profession which is existing, which is flourishing in different countries, will be, regulated more properly. They will be given more human rights. They will be given more respect in the society, just like other professions. Although the only need of the hour is to change our mindset. Please change your mindset, change your perspective regarding things, regarding women. Women are not objects, women are not things. They are human beings. A country can only progress if their women are progressing. So women getting their basic human rights, including that human dignity or gender equality, that is most important in a country like India, a developing country where women is the workforce, where women is the labor force everywhere, be it organized sector, unorganized sector. Doing something in her life. Right? So, that's all about my views on pros and cons of legalization of prostitution, be it from the angle of education, be it from the angle of health, be it from the angle of profession or human rights. I think this should be legalized in a country like India, where a woman is not given that kind of respect which she deserves. So thank you so much. Now open to all the questions which are left. And I'm totally okay with people discussing it with me. We can have interactive sessions because this is a topic which can be discussed. Questions? Am I audible?
Ma'am, the first question is from Riya Bansal. She says that, ma'am, sex in India is considered to be a taboo. People in India are not supposed to have sex before marriage, while the countries which have legalized sex are very open-minded. How to go about this thought process?
First of all, again, thought process, mindset. That has to be changed. Number one. Number two, having sex before marriage has nothing to do with this topic, although, right? But being a teacher, educator, mentor, lawyer, interpreter of laws, I would like to tell all the females sitting out here, or those who are listening to me, that having sex before marriage should not affect your life as a woman or as a human being. There was a client, I'm a lawyer, I had a client who tried to or attempted to commit suicide just because she had sex with her boyfriend and she came to know that he was already married. When I say that she tried to commit suicide, attempted, to your surprise, she lost her legs in that incident. She ruined her whole life because of the taboo, social taboo of having sex with her boyfriend before marriage. Now, do you think it is sensible? Do you think as a lawyer I would suggest her to do it? Do you think society's mindset will change her life now?
No, ma'am.
Will that mindset bring her legs back? Answer is no. She is paralyzed for life. So that kind of thing should not affect your life. Right? So that's why I say कि मैम अब हमारा केस लड़ दो जी पॉस्को एक्ट में. I was a minor, I did this happened to me, this happened to me. So what is the use of this POSCO Act? There is no use. Even if he hanged to death, your life is paralyzed for life, yeah. Look, how can you do this? So that kind of thing should be discouraged. I would like to tell all the youngsters, all the females, that please value your life, value yourself as a human being, and stop thinking about the social mindset. Next question, please. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is, what are the human rights provisions regarding legalization of prostitution?
Human rights provisions. I told you in India we have this Immoral Trafficking Suppression Act, which is CETA, 1976. Then it was amended in 1986 by Immoral Trafficking Protection Act. Now there is amendment of, I think, 2006 regarding again this prevention of immoral trafficking. So they are all talking about not soliciting your customers, not giving your number in public, because that will promote prostitution. You can do it in your closed spaces, but you are not allowed to publicize it, because that will increase immoral.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
And sorry,
It's on your part.
and there is a provision. There are provisions in IPC, which I was talking about, 366A, B, and 372 and 373 also talks about protection of child prostitution, and they are discouraging selling and buying of minors for prostitution and importing them abroad or bringing them to India. So these are the only provisions which are available. Thank you.
And the next question is from Suresh Goyal. What if a male has sex with the consent of a girl or woman, but later on she alleges rape or Me Too? Shall I repeat the question?
Yeah. So, I have full sympathy with men like this, because there are umpteen number of cases now where misuse of these provisions are done by females. But you cannot just again, sensitize people on the fact that women are misusing it only. Right? There must be some reason that she's emphasizing upon, not giving consent to you, or if she was not willing to perform that act. So it is not that there is no misuse. Obviously, there is misuse of these provisions. But then, in cases like this, you should be careful or vigilant from, in near future, you should be vigilant enough to go with a girl only if she gives consent clearly in words. Don't take implied consent to be consent, right? Just ask the girl. Now society is very open. You can ask the girl. If she's clearly saying yes, only then take her anyway, right? So my suggestion would be, rather criticizing girls or talking about misuse of this provision, you should be more careful. Like, just in the same way you ask the girls to be more careful when rape is committed on them, right? Not to wear western clothes, don't wear western clothes, don't go to public places at night. Girls should be more careful if rape is increasing in our society. Similarly, you should be more careful and ask clearly from the girl that whether we should go to a room and perform this or not. That would be my suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, the next question is from Supriya Boya. Ma'am, what about the children of sex workers? Why government is not providing any benefits to them?
That is so true. That is so true. See, they are not even getting good status in society. Let's not talk about giving education or good facilities to them. They are working in unhygienic conditions. They are working in conditions which are even worse than maids, which are even worse than slums. So, just forget about health conditions, forget about facilities given by the government. उनको एक समझ लो एक स्थान ही नहीं दिया गया अभी तक सोसाइटी में. हमने कोई जो है उनको कोई स्टेटस ही नहीं अभी तक दिया. प्रोविजन हमने क्या देंगे, फैसिलिटीज हमने क्या देंगे? नो प्रोविजन फॉर दैट. Clearly, there are no provisions for that. Certainly, we need to talk about it. We need to sensitize politicians on these issues. We need to sensitize them to, rather than thinking of availing these services, they should think about how to improve their conditions. Then they can go and avail these services, clearly. Thank you.
Ma'am, the next question is regulations of India already effective to solve the raped cases in India now?
See, just like any other law, even rape provisions are not sufficient as of now. See, whenever we make law, the idea behind or the reason behind having law is either to have deterrent effect or to reform the criminals. Right? And I don't think so in both the ways it is working. Neither it is having deterrent effect nor it is reforming the criminal who has performed this act. Whenever I say deterrent effect, मतलब डराना लोगों की अगर आप करोगे तो आपको रेप की जो है डेथ सेंटेंस हो सकती है, just like निर्भया केस, मुकेश versus State and City Delhi. But again, rapes are increasing day by day. It is rampant. There is no improvement, right? So clearly there is no deterrent effect on them. And regarding reformation, obviously there are repeated rape cases. Already previously convicted criminals are committing rapes again. So that is also prevalent in society. There is no change. So according to me, the 2013 amendment, the recommendation of Justice Verma are not clearly not working in our country. So definitely we cannot scrap them as of now because they are also important somehow. But answer to this question is yes, they are not working. Clearly not working. Thank you.
Ma'am, the next question is, what about sexual workers who pretend to be housewives and college students or models or film actresses, though they are prostitutes by their profession?
See, I was about to talk about them, but then it would have deviated me from the topic and it would have left to another half an hour. So I just wanted to cut short my discussion. So I did not discuss it. But then this is true that indirectly people are indulging into this profession. But don't you think so? If we are talking about gender equality, gender stereotypes in our society, where we treat these women as inferior to other respectable women, that kind of thinking mindset has to be changed. If they are doing it, it is their choice, their life, their choice. Why can't we have that kind of tolerance towards another person's choice? Why we are so intolerant as a society towards females? Why we are so intolerant? Why we cannot tolerate someone who is doing something like this? Let them be. Everybody has their own life and choices to make. So if they have chosen this profession and doing something else, indirectly indulging into this, it is their choice. If people are buying their services and giving something in return, in kind or in money, let them do it. Do not change your mindset. Be calm, be cool. Just do your work. Stop poking nose into their business, what they are doing, why they are doing, what is the reason, all these W's, why, where, what, should be avoided. Right? Thank you.
Ma'am, the next question is, sexual workers are not willing to get it legalized to suppress from their husbands or parents.
Yeah, I told you, who are doing it, in a surreptitious manner or secretly they are doing it and they do not want to disclose it. They definitely will be suppressed by their parents or husbands, but then indirectly they must also be indulged into something like this, or they must be aware of the fact that they are doing it and still they are encouraging them to do it. If it is a family matter, if they are, okay with getting suppressed by their husbands or their family members or parents, then you cannot, you can just educate them. You can tell them this is the law, this is the way you can approach the public authorities. You cannot force someone to come out and lodge an FIR or something like this. You cannot do that. You can just make them aware. That's the only duty. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, the next question is from Sachin Rao. It's not legalizing prostitution violative of Article 14 for not recognizing this profession equally? And also, is it violative of Article 191G for not recognizing it as a profession? And how do you define poverty? And is this profession beneficial for female in the long run?
See, I started my discussion with the same thing. The violative of provisions of Constitution, right to profession. You have every right to choose your profession. And to be specific, Clause G talks about it. And definitely when I said that gender equality is required and gender discrimination should be avoided, again, it is violating Article 14 of the Constitution. So certainly you have pointed out the correct provisions when we are not legalizing the profession of prostitution. Then equalizing it with other professions, again, I have said that it should be encouraged. And in long run, the definition of poverty, whenever you are saying, see, people are not being able to earn their livelihood. They are not being able to have that roti kapda makan to refit, right? Although education is included these days, medical assistance and education is included these days, but to suffice it and give it a definition from that slum angle, roti kapda makan. If they do not have these basic provisions, they do not have food to eat, that means they are impoverished. That means they are living under poverty, below that poverty line. They are living under that poverty, status where they are unable to earn their livelihood, unable to earn that roti kapda makan. So that's my definition of poverty. Maybe you can come up with something else. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Rajveer Singh. Does legalizing prostitution will remove the orthodox mindset associated with it?
Never. Never. See, we are having this discussion. We are talking about it openly. Maybe at other levels or somewhere else people are talking about it. People are writing research papers on this. If you have some time to Google it, kindly go through those research papers. People are coming out with countries like Bangladesh, where Nepal, where these human trafficking is increasing and people are indulging into this profession, and how it is increasing day by day. But still, recognizing this fact, researching on this topic, writing legal articles on this, organizing these webinars will not serve the purpose. The only thing we need to change is our mindset. And believe me, it will take another decade or maybe more than that to change this mindset. Thank you.
Ma'am, the next question is from Suresh Goyal. To what extent police is responsible in involving girls in illegal prostitution?
Please check your network connection.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Your
Yeah. See, first of all, I would like to request everyone that whenever I am conducting webinars, please do not make calls. I know it is on purpose. Whenever I am conducting webinars, you start making calls. Stop calling me when I am conducting webinars. Everyone is aware what Kanu Sharma is doing. So stop pretending that you don't know that I am having webinar at 4. Please stop making calls. Now, when I forgot the question. Can you please repeat the question? Sorry.
Ma'am, the question: to what extent police is responsible in involving girls in illegal prostitution?
Absolutely. See, certainly police is involved in increasing or encouraging this profession of prostitution. Clearly, police is involved, right? Then, how to, control this, or how to how to prevent abuse of this profession by police, because they are themselves indulging into buying of sexual services from such females. They are themselves into having indulged into these activities on daily basis maybe. So that is how they're encouraging it, because they are getting benefits out of it. And maybe they're not even paying for it. So that ways, they are responsible for encouraging it. They are exploiting females in this industry. So we need to make some clauses in the legislation where definitely a check is put on police officials like those who are violating the basic human rights of these sex workers. Thank you.
Ma'am, the next question is there any correlation between caste and rape cases in India? And what is the student role to minimizing the rape cases to be low?
See, caste is the root cause of many crimes in our society. Many crimes. There's one famous saying of Karl Marx. Religion is opium for people. Nasha hai religion logon ke liye. Right? And that very aptly fits into the society of India. So caste is a factor which is the root cause of many crimes. And that is why we are having mob lynching openly, where people are indulging into killing or, hanging people, followed by a mob, where they'll treat you or outcast you from the society and kill you and indulge into mob lynching. So this is very common in states like UP, Bihar, MP, where Rajasthan even, where they encourage mob lynching, and that mob lynching is typically based on honor killing, obviously, which is again caste based and bias on the basis of religion. So definitely it is the reason behind many crimes in our society. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Aman Chopra, and a similar question has been asked by Anmol Singh also. Do you think fresh amendments are needed in Immoral Trafficking Act and 2018 and 2019 amendment working? Are they even working?
No, I don't think so. My answer is no, they are not. They are not appropriate, they are not working, they are not properly implemented. Right? Just the way we write essays in our judiciary exam, no proper implementation, no proper execution of those laws. Right? No recognition of those laws. There are provisions of FIR, but there are cases where even FIR is not lodged against many people because of political influence. So this is so common that there is misuse of all these provisions. Clearly, these amendments are not working. Not at all. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Lalitha Thakur. A man wants a girl for fulfilling his physical needs, even if he is paying, but he never ever accepts his daughter and wife as a prostitute.
That's true. That's true. Because again, just as I've said, that we need to change the mindset. If there is someone, there are movies on this, I think, these issues, if I don't remember the names, where they have recognized the fact that they are accepting females who are indulged into prostitution. Right? But then accepting those children, those illegitimate, as they call it, illegitimate, would be quite far away from reality. So I would not say that they will come out and accept those children. But then again, change of mindset, change of outlook is all we need. Thank you.
Ma'am, the next question is from Suresh Goyal. Even many persons are offering their wives and daughters for prostitution, but are held due to not legalize this profession. What remedy is available to such persons and their wife or daughters?
First of all, voice will only be raised or law will only be used, remedy will only be provided if you will raise voice against it. If women, that means wife or daughter, has no problem with this, she is happy doing it in those closed spaces, in that so-called closed society, in the metropolitan areas, then obviously there is no requirement of raising voice against it. We are no one to raise voice against it. If they are indulging into these activities just to gain job, just to get promotion, right? So if they are doing it, bribing their bosses by sending their wives or daughters, right? Illicit procurement or allurement for getting jobs, etc. So that kind of thing, if they are doing, we are no one to judge them. All these females can do is report this sexual abuse as a daughter, as a wife. If you have to indulge into this profession, or you have to do this for the sake of family, etc. If they are forcing you into doing this, then definitely you can report it. Thank you.
Guys, if you have any other queries, you may ask ma'am or drop your query to the chat box. There's another question. Ma'am, if prostitution will be legalized in India, will the female indulged in this will get recognition in the society?
No. But see, we already have recognized this fact that there is prostitution, but we don't see it with that respectable eye, and that will only come out that will only take place if we change our outlook, if we change our mindset. So legalizing will not give you a respectable place or recognizing this fact, but legalizing this profession of prostitution will give them some rights, will give them some freedom to use this profession in a proper way, earn their livelihood in a proper way, and say it openly that yes, we are prostitutes. You know why? Because now they know that people have legalized this profession in a country like India. But still, maybe few people will continue doing it in a surreptitious manner. It is their choice, their life. Let them do it. Give them that space and treat everyone with respect. That's all I can do. Thank you.
Ma'am, there are no other question, I guess. Guys, if you have any other question, please ask ma'am right now, because we'll be ending up the session soon. Okay. There's another question. Making law is one thing. It will take decades to encourage sex workers to claim their rights. Why not?
That's true. I told you. It will take another decade or more to bring change in society. And that's my aim, that I should be one stone in that way of making good life for females in our country. And I think you as females should also stop talking about another female as prostitutes or things like that, and indulge into gossips and all. Rather, respect those who are doing it and just, allow them to do whatever they want. Thank you. If amendments are not working, what should be done? There is another question. See, if amendments are not working, don't you think so we should work at our own level? Right? Many NGOs and self-help groups are helping them. Right? There are self-help groups. है ना? Females के बहुत सारे ऐसे self-help groups हैं जो उनकी मदद करते हैं while giving them medical assistance while they are pregnant, or they need books for their children, or to have good hospitals in their particular areas where they are indulging into the profession of prostitution. So definitely NGOs are helping them, and this is the role of civilized society, जिसको हम बोलते हैं civil society जो है हमारा, है ना? Law तो है बेटा, नहीं law तो है, then execution वो उसकी भी बड़ी जरूरी है ना, कि सिर्फ suppression of immoral trafficking, सिर्फ एक prostitution act बनाने से या कुछ ऐसा act बनाने से, उसको legalize करने से मुझे नहीं लगता सारा purpose solve होगा. लेकिन ये है कि एक law बनेगा तो एक first step तो पक्का आएगा. First step ये आएगा कि government is saying treat these people with respect. Government is saying that this profession is legal. You cannot term it illegal, immoral, indecent, uncultured, as per your terminology. Right? So मेरी तो request है सारे youngsters से, be it male or female, please change your thing. ऊपर उठ जाओ इस sex word से, कुछ ऊपर उठ जाओ ऊपर इससे. दुनिया में बहुत कुछ है डिस्कस करने के लिए, except all this process. Right? Let them
है ना, हाँ, तो उठ जाओ। मैं तो कहती अपनी थिंकिंग से इतना उठ जाओ कि लोग हैरान हो जाए कि इंडिया के लोगों को हुआ क्या है। देयर इज नो नीड टू डू ब्रेन ड्रेन, डोंट गो अब्रॉड।
तो मोदी जी कर रहे हो तो,
है ना, so stay here, have that modern outlook, do your work, enjoy your life, be happy. Right? Thank you so much.
Ma'am, another question is there. Do people see girl in live-in relationship as being a sex worker though she is with a single boy?
Honestly, answer is yes. See, अगर लिव-इन कपल को ही हम रिस्पेक्ट के साथ नहीं देख रहे तो प्रोस्टिट्यूट को तो हम कहाँ ही रिस्पेक्ट के साथ देखेंगे, राइट? दैट इज द बिटर ट्रूथ, दैट इज द रियलिटी ऑफ आवर इंडियन सोसाइटी. दैट्स ट्रू. सी, बीइंग अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटी, है ना, मेरे को भी पता है कि पीपल आर लिविंग एज लिविंग कपल. मे बी आई डू नॉट एग्री विद दैट थिंकिंग, मे बी यू डू नॉट एग्री विद दैट थिंकिंग कि भी हमें लिव इन में नहीं रहना चाहिए, है ना, या किसी कपल को लिव इन में नहीं रहना चाहिए. बट हु आर वी टू फोर्स देम नॉट टू डू इट? हु आर वी टू जज देम दैट दे आर प्रोस्टिट्यूट? हु आर वी टू जज देम इफ दे हैव सम सेक्सुअल नीड्स? Or if they want to live with that guy, but they know that they cannot get married because of caste issue, because of some rich-poor issue or whatever. You know, some differences, class differences. But they want to stay together for some time. So let them say, what is our problem? हमारे पेट में दर्द क्यों है? ठीक है ना? So just that is my thinking कि stop judging people. अरे पेपर दो, जज का जज बनो, उन पैसे मिलेंगे जज करने के लिए. बिना जज बने मत जज करो लोगों, प्लीज. यू आर नॉट पेड फॉर इट. ठीक है? दैट्स माय ओनली आंसर. थैंक यू.
Okay, guys, are you having any other queries, or shall we end the session?
no,
No.
you can end the session.
Ma'am,
Okay.
it's a request from my side. Today is the birthday of co-founder and managing director of Law Statistics, that is Shobna Agarwal. Ma'am, please give her blessings.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for informing me first of all, and thank you for having this wonderful session. Thank you to the team of Law Statistics and all the participants who spare their precious time and come and participate in this webinar. And then I would like to congratulate Shobna for being a wonderful part of this team called Law Statistics. Then happy birthday. My good wishes are with you. God bless you. And you should, flourish in your life. May God bless you and give you prosperity, good health, and happiness in life. Happy birthday, beta. Enjoy your day. Still, there are many hours left. Go party and enjoy.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kanu Sharma madam, for speaking on this issue. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Honorable Advocate Kanu Sharma ma'am, team members and especially Nikita Bansal, founder and CEO at Law Statistics, and all the participants present here. I, Shobna Agarwal, co-founder and managing director of Law Statistics, would like to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our honorable speaker, Advocate Kanu ma'am, for such a wonderful session. We are really enlightened by your knowledge and presence, ma'am. A heartfelt thanks to our participants and all the team members. We are looking forward to have many more sessions with you, ma'am. With these warm words and a kind message, we move to the end of today's webinar. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
People, please fill the attendance form before leaving.
Your CPR file.
Guys, please fill the attendance form before leaving because certificates will be based only on the attendance form.
Where do we get the attendance form? Where can we get it?
We have already provided you with the link in the chat box.